Guys, this is incredible. So this morning I came up and I was just walking around, I'm feeding the chickens, and then something huge slithered away from where the chicken had been grazing, and it was a grass snake, and Jock jumped straight in, so there was no way I could get a picture or video or anything of it, and it moved incredibly quickly. I can't believe how quickly it moved. So I thought, let me just leave it, and then we've come back to the field and Jock's just been barking and he's found it. So we're not going to bother it too much because it's obviously curled up in a kind of protective bundle. Jock, please leave it alone. But I do want to just show you because it's incredible. So it's down here. Well done, you found it, yes. Away. And here it is, tucked into the grass, hence its name. I don't want to leave it. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's protecting its head, it's throwing its head under itself. Oh, I'm so excited, guys. This is just an amazing find. Now, grass snakes are not venomous. We've only got one venomous snake here in the UK, which is the adder. These guys really are just amazing little snakes that just can't do you any harm. If you've got them on your land, it's a really good sign that you've got good, wild, regenerative, a happy ecosystem. What I am going to do is I'm going to stand back for a little bit and see if this guy unslithers and disappears, but I'm just utterly thrilled with this. We did find a skin last year, but to find and see the actual living creature, amazing. So I've grabbed my tripod. I'm going to stick the camera on the tripod, and then we're going to go away and leave it. But I'm hoping that we might get some footage of it unfurling and slithering off. Well, it's someone's birthday because I've just found a tiny egg. It's even still wet inside. I don't know what bird this is. There is a greater whitethroat that sings around here a lot, so I'm going to look the eggs up online. It might be that. It's lovely. It's tiny. It's definitely a little finch or tit type thing. But happy birthday, new little baby. It has been super hot the past few days, and the pheasantry has been a really nice place to be because it's quite shaded, and the way we've cut it is that we've got patches of sunlight and daylight that can come through, but it's dappled shade, which is not only nice for us, but it's nice for the birds. We've stopped selling pheasant eggs now, and we've decided we're going to allow the remaining eggs to be brooded by the pheasants. So in this aviary, this is a pair of reeves, and in that box right back there, you can see she has 3 eggs. In the cage next door, more reeves, and she's actually sat on top of the box at the moment over the back there. There she is, but she's got 2 in her little box. And then next door to them are the Goldens. And he is just starting to molt out now into his adult plumage. So he's starting to get some of the adult red feathers coming through, some of the blue, some of the greens on the back of the neck. But they, under here, they've got 4 eggs in there. And I'm kind of excited just to let them breed. We haven't had a great result this year with our Reeves chicks. I moved all the chicks, as I said before, into this cage inside the grey peacock pheasant aviary, and the Goldens have done great. The Reeves really hadn't. We started with 7 Reeves chicks and we're down to 1. The Goldens certainly bullied them. Goldens, when they're adults, are chilled out compared with Reeves. Reeves are really aggressive. So I would have thought it would have been the other way around, but it turned out that the Golden chicks were actually bullying the young Reeves chicks, and the reason the young Reeves chicks were dying was because they were getting picked on, and I just didn't realise, because they weren't at home, they were at the farm, so I haven't been able to observe them as much. So we've got 1 Reeves left, and that was another reason why we're thinking about allowing these guys to hatch out their own eggs, because not only will I not have to think about where am I going to keep these chicks, because they'll be with their mum, but also I'm hoping that the hatch might be better. The other nice thing with the Reeves is these are unrelated pairs, so any hen chicks that are hatched out in here, I can literally take out and pop into here, and vice versa, and then we can just pull the boys, which is really nice. Another thing that I touched on in the last video was the fact that we have finally exchanged on our house. We are due to complete on our house next week, and complete in the UK means you finally, the transaction goes through and you finally get your money. And this is why we've been so stressed, because we just, we wanted to move here to the farm, having sold that property, having earned that equity in that house that we've built up over the years, so that we could have started the farm off without worrying about finances. And just to put it in context, our bills at the moment are over £2,000, so about $3,500 a month, because we are paying rent and a mortgage, and we're paying 2 sets of council tax, which is like property tax. We're paying water and electricity and utility bills for both properties. Even though the old property we're not in, we still have to pay the standing tax for the electricity and the standing tax for the water. So with that much money just hemorrhaging out of our account every month, it has been a struggle. So I'm very relieved that that is almost over. And to celebrate, we've got lots of things planned to celebrate in terms of buying. And one of the things is we're going to get more aviaries. So we've got the three aviaries we initially bought here. We've got another aviary, which is the golden aviary on the back. And we've just contacted the company that supplied these aviaries to give us a quote to have another 2 aviaries put in here, slightly smaller, and then 1 really big aviary back here, so kind of an L shape. And the idea will be that your access will be down this back panel, so you'll kind of have a little walkway between the aviaries, and that leads out to the gate, which leads onto the field. And then there'll be an aviary here, there'll be an aviary here, and then there'll be a big aviary here. And we want to keep this tree in particularly, because I think we can mount a nest box on that tree before it slopes out the back, and that'll be really, really lovely. We might put the grey peacock pheasants in here, but that should be happening now. We're getting brand new gates as well for all the meadows. We can finally start to think about contacting the utility company and getting the water up here. So finally, things are moving on. Hi boys, what are you doing? Hi! It's hot, isn't it? Hello, Monty. You hot? Bet you're glad to have that fleece off. That put you off. I am on very early goat pregnancy watch. So even if they were tupped the day that I got them, they wouldn't be due for another 6 weeks? Yeah, 6 weeks. So beginning of August. So my girls are here. This is Pixie, and then Eve is the black one over there, and then Pie is the black one over there. And I've just noticed the past few days, Pixie, you cannot see her udder or her nipples or anything. They are just held close to the body. It's completely flat. There's nothing there at all. Pie, however, and Eve, you can quite clearly see their two nipples now hanging down, and also there seems to be a little bit of a swelling just above where they are. They're not flat to the stomach anymore. None of these girls have had babies before. If they'd had babies before, obviously their udders would already be developed and you wouldn't expect to see that difference. But because they've never had babies, this is obviously a physiological change that's starting to happen, and I'm wondering whether it's starting to happen. I don't know whether you can see, but on both of these girls, you can kind of start to see, because they're so black, it's hard to see, but you can see a little bit of a nipple and a little bit of a swelling, where there's absolutely nothing on her. So I'm thinking that those two are pregnant. And this day keeps getting better. I've just come up to the campsite field, do some more strimming. Every day is strimming. And along that line over there, there are some orchids. I think they're marsh orchids, or I mean, they're amazing, but they're quite common here. But I've just found another orchid species that I personally have never seen here before. And it's down here. And it is the bee orchid. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to tell all my campers, do not pick the orchids. And I may strim a big patch around this so it's obvious, so it doesn't get stood on either. But that is just beautiful. So exciting!